Hey, it's Winter. I cadged a bunch of conspiracy recordings from T-Bone's files, and he's gonna throw a strop if they get out before his death. So guess what I'm doing? Yeah. Too bad they're busted. Something about a faulty blurb fly. Whatever.
So here's your story so far. Well, with everything going on around the palace, all the protests and all the weird shit going on in general, the consultants have been asked to meet with their new boss, Sosh, at a nondescript trailer in Tameside, Droylsden. As they're getting there, though, all they can hear is Janus Fontaine blasting out from a nice little turntable inside the trailer. And then they get inside and Sosh, well, he's sloshed. He's running a hazer and downing a bottle of fetish. Before they can even start the briefing, Sosh stacks it and smacks his head on the floor and starts showing some serious signs of concussion. Next thing, the door's virtually taken off its hinges and a huge Dachshund dog man in a fancy suit walks in. He sees 5 shady characters picking up a Yeoman Warder with a serious head injury, and of course he assumes the worst. So the dog man starts kicking off, and Josiah immediately starts to distract him with some fast talking. And believe me, you're going to get used to that. And somehow this led to Winter managing to shave the dogman into a faint. While that's going on, the Vurt truck outside starts honking its horn impatiently. So Engil goes out to tell them to do one, and of course that ends up in a fist fight with the driver. Anyway, Josiah came out, managed to calm everyone down long enough that the driver's picked up his now shaven buddy from the trailer and legged it, leaving the truck behind. Now believe me, those two didn't look like delivery guys, but they had something in that van for Sosh. A letter with the royal seal on it, with gold leaf coordinates of a rover fair in the centre district on the edge of the River Irwell, and a time, 3:38. So the consultants decided to give Sosh a little something to save his life, and then they've called him an ambulance, before doing one with the Vurt van and everything in it.
Redacted. That means you lost it, right?
All right. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello, Internet.
We're not really late.
Yeah. So, alrighty. We are on session 2 of the Dog Save the King campaign. We have the consultants again who are working for the totally new Royal Yeoman Warders, who report directly to the king. So they've had session 0 last time here, where everybody got to know each other a little bit, and then caused a whole bunch of mayhem in a very short amount of time. But also found out that their the superior, their boss, is an absolute git, I guess would be the proper way to put it. And didn't really, this meeting point that was supposed to give you all the information for your next mission, you did find, but you had to pull it out of a pocket from his unconscious form there.
We weren't responsible for that at all.
Not at all. So the consultants, who again you guys have been hired by the Royal Yeoman Warders, beef eaters, I guess. You guys do not like to be called, but you guys are outside, so you are not Royal Yeoman Warders yourself, although your boss is one of the Warder Generals. And so that insulates them a little bit, and actually you guys probably use it to your advantage as well, because the background checks alone, I don't think 2/3 of you guys wouldn't get too close with your background. So real quickly, let's describe how everybody is looking there on where we will pick up exactly where we left off last time. So you guys had your note with the mission with some coordinates, a time of a meeting point, which is again your next mission here, or the start of your mission. And how is everybody looking in the car there as you guys are speeding off from the mayhem you've just created?
Mr. Wagner, I believe, was in the passenger seat. He's got his feet up on the dashboard. He's like half sleeping. And he's got this old antique puny that he's sort of with nice. In between his fingers, just sort of like idle. He looks asleep, but his hands are moving. And so it's almost like he's concentrating or focusing. He's otherwise ignoring everything happening around him.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And you are, remind us again, your mode of being is?
I am a shadow man Vurt speaker who bleeds lucky.
Yeah, a lucky bleeder. So exactly. And if I remember right, you had the shadow chops, I believe, which is the newest style.
I have a angelic cherub-like face surrounded by these. The shadow effect is a bit like old style Victorian mutton chops. It's just as the sort of shadow sort of flows out, it comes a little bit. He looks a little. If you weren't paying attention, you would think it was hair and not shadow.
Of course. Perfect. Okay, so that's a passenger seat. Driver is, I believe. Okay. Yes.
That would be Angel. Yeah.
Yep.
Because he is not letting anybody else take the wheel. He's driving, but like this is like sort of a low tech van, so he's kind of like half paying attention to the street, which is like enough. But he's also like, there's no plugs, there's no radio, it's not like. It's like, you got to use the clutch for yourself. It's like, what is this? How old has this thing been rattling around in this city? I don't get it. You have to use your hands. It's like a little kid's toy. Like, what's that?
That's true. Now, this van, to remind everybody, is a repurposed Vurt you want. Basically, a delivery truck. So think an ice cream truck or lorry. But it's nondescript, and it also remember you have a shadow tech device over your number plate that always makes people question what they just saw. The last number makes it nearly impossible to be photographed, the actual number. So a scrambler, basically. All right.
Nice.
Yep. And you are a.
I am a Robo-Man-Shad. He is from Wigan, so he's got this big, shiny black parka with like a fur-lined hood that's back over a set of green coveralls that are like tucked into combat boots. He's got like little leather 80s driving gloves with like the fingers cut off and like holes in the knuckles and stuff. And he's got a tank top underneath. Like the jumpsuit is like undone like almost halfway down. He's got like a tank top underneath. You can see like part of like letters that go across his chest that nice. don't make any sense in English. So
beautiful. Of course.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he's rattling on about like, no has blue feather stereo, no has something like, no plugs, no jacks. How do people drive like this? Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking for something to plug into, and this is officially like the the ugliest interior you've ever seen.
He's like, it has fancy license plate and nothing else. Who does that?
Yep.
Tell you what, brother, you find us a plug-in port somewhere, I'll install it for you.
And this is...
Hi, I'm Buzz Diptera. I'm a robo-vert mathematician who controls blurbs, for those of you who don't know. And I look like a giant blurb fly, although I have 6 legs and 2 manipulative hands and a fedora and a gold chain with an Egyptian scarab on it. And that's my only clothing. And I'm currently in the back, my blurb fly, Sheila, where I used up the, I had an injector, I think a jet injector, in her cipher compartment that we used on Josh Roshash.
Yeah.
Rosh.
The boss.
Your boss.
So right now, I'm looking over her. I just found last episode. I found a Min-Maxis grenade, and I'm trying to see if I can load it into Sheila and make the compartment have a set of Bombay doors, so that when I ask, I can just have Sheila just open it and drop the grenade.
You know what? We'll roll for it. At the very beginning, as soon as everybody goes through. That'll be actually roll for it now. Why not? If you have, I'm sure some skill that will bring it down a notch there. I'll just say that it's a demanding task, so it's already at a 9. So if you,
considering this requires explosives, I'm going to spend effort.
Why not?
And I am trained in blurb fly construction and maintenance.
Okay, perfect. So we're now down to 3 or above.
Okay.
Yeah.
3. Skated by of my.
The fact that you're working with explosives and just made the number. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else
in a moving van?
Yeah. That was almost a boom.
Maybe we don't do this in a small, compartment. Maybe.
Hey, brother, you only live once. Or for me, 11 more hours.
Yeah, no doubt. The Mayfly. Yes, your PC's life meter is ticking down. It's a set part of the character. It's a built-in expiration date, unless you can figure out a way to be the first one.
That's what I'm trying. Well, and because we're going to a rover fair, that's what our mission is. So I'm going to also be trying to look for a grubworm. I have some experiments in mind for blurb fly, and I would share this with you guys because I share all this shit. It's like, I'm trying not to die, y'all. But I'm trying to figure out how to transfer my consciousness via Robo or the Vurt into basically a blurb fly body, and I'm trying to see if I can genetically engineer the new grubworm with some of my own DNA, my Vurt DNA, to make it all more accepting, so that hopefully I can just transfer my consciousness to a new body and escape the Mayfly curse.
Mm-hmm.
Would the new body then have the same curse? Or?
Well, it wouldn't be RoboVert. It would be an artificial construct that hopefully would have most of what I want. So that's what I'm trying to, but I'm looking at different ways to do it.
Yeah.
So, and maybe
you would have to separate it out to avoid the curse of the Mayfly. And again, Mike remembers that from the last campaign. Although you had a large life for a Mayfly, you rolled high.
Yeah, I rolled high. So
nice. Okay, next in the the repurposed Vurt you want, Lori, is
Char, you want to go?
I think that's me. I am Winter and July.
Mm-hmm.
I am also a Roboman Chad.
A badass.
She's a very scary looking bounty hunter. She's just got she's very pale where she still looks human, but most of her from like here down is like all robo. Like just black ballistic skin. She's got, instead of a jaw, she has like a robo like skull essentially with just like fangs.
Nice.
And And she's just like solid black, except for like her face is like a pale white with like white hair. And she is looking extremely uncomfortable because aside from her other Roboman Shad buddy, she is in a car with 3 Vurt creatures. And she does not like that.
Yep. The other
But
side.
she's tolerating them because this is a job. And she's spent her whole life working with whoever she needs to get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Vurt genetics are, yes, 3. The other 3 all have Vurt genetics, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. This is
Now we're in a confined space.
Yeah,
It's okay though, because we can still like pat like Wagner on the back and be like, yeah, deep down you're still a good shadow man. Right? Like,
You're also probably a little unnerved because there's a giant blurb fly looking like molesting a smaller blurb fly over in the corner.
Yeah. This is all kinds of uncomfortable for her.
Yeah.
It's
Sounds
giving her
like
some
Are we earning our
back.
PG-13 flag?
She's,
Earning what?
Earning our PG-13 flag on Twitch?
I suppose so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Again, Vurt is weird. Vurt is weird. Okay. So, and then last but not least, we have
T-Bone the Disco Spider.
yes.
I'm in the other corner of the van, not watching someone molest a blurb fly, and I'm reading a book with blank pages, and
Okay.
I'll let you guys decide if I'm actually reading or if there's nothing there.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And your mode of being is
I'm a Dogman Vurt warrior who delves deeper. So I'm a conspiracy theorist / practitioner.
mm-hmm.
I'd like to make that distinction. Most people stop at the theory. I like to apply my knowledge to the real world.
Mm-hmm. Reality.
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. So these are the consultants. The group, the outside group of, again, a very, diverse talents, certainly different backgrounds, not just genetically, but certainly where you guys are coming from, what job, occupation, training, this and that. So we're going to be finding out as we go on all of these, little moments. But right now, as we said before, you do have the note that was, that you understand are your instructions as far as the meeting point. It's a rover fair. It is at 3:38, I believe, is the time that you're supposed to meet, and you have the specific coordinates. And I'm sorry, where is it, in the center district or? Yes, it was in the center district. So you're right. That you're going to be meeting on the edge of the River Irwell at 3:38, and a rover fair is going to be happening. Now, rover fairs again are happenings, kind of. No one ever has a schedule. The fact that at 3:38 there's going to be a rover fair there tells you that the information you're getting obviously goes way up in their community. So because it's not legal for them, as all these boats filled with goods are going down the Irwell to the Mersey and all through, these waterways are clogged with merchants coming in. They're not legally allowed to step foot out of their boat and touch land without having all the documentation and everything. And so they can't, and they're always moving as well. So there are times when the MPD isn't looking around, or they've paid off someone, or it's late enough, or it's a surprise enough that they will all, talk amongst themselves, and suddenly at the edge of, I don't know, Warrington, they're on the Mersey, there's a huge, rover fair. 300 people are out there throwing out their blankets, setting up stuff. They're there for sometimes as little as a few minutes before the MPD show up, and they all roll everything up, jump back in their boats, and skedaddle. Sometimes it goes a little bit longer, but those are the general things for the Rover Fair. And you guys are en route. We're going to say 3:38 again is a.m. And it's already it was late afternoon, I think, and it was raining again. Terrible rain. It's late spring in Old Man here, and that is, you know, a regular, beautiful spring day in Manchester. So drizzly, icy, bone-chilling rain, and you guys are off.
Awesome.
Where to? So you guys again do have like maybe 10 hours before the actual meeting time.
How long does it take to actually drive there?
Yeah.
Call. Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so you guys are, if I remember correctly, you guys were in, you started in Droylsden, right? Yes, Tameside. So you were in a separate borough and district, but Droylsden is right on the edge. So you have to cross 1, 2, 3 districts to get to New Centerton, which is on the west side of Center, the Center borough. So 3 of those. Again, it's raining. You know, a navigation roll is an intelligence, you know, a check or intellect check. So it's difficult each time. So whoever's driving, of course, that's right. Our very stylish driver here is you're going to be making the navigation rolls to get there, you know, through each one. Yeah, that'll be when you're ready to do that. Again, you can make the first one right now to keep going if you guys want to go straight there and wait, or go somewhere else.
I think we should scope out the location before the fair actually happens, because it could be a trap.
I'm also wondering, have we actually searched this van?
Yeah. That you did to find the ciphers that you guys each picked up at the end.
Ah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, and the rest of it is maybe you find almost no value. It's kind of packing stuff, and it's a real mess, but you've picked it clean.
Well, that's what I was just going to say before the navigation rolls. How about we search the van and try and find an A to Z book? But
I have an A to Z book.
We already did, and somebody did. So yeah.
That's actually a good point. I forgot that I have an A to Z book.
Aha.
Nice.
You are welcome, sir.
Thank you for bringing my external brain. I actually have a level 6 A to Z book, and because we hadn't decided on where we were, I hadn't decided what it was for. So I kind of would have said wherever we were based, but I guess we're based in a van. So
yeah. And your meetup point with your boss, again, who comes from the corporate sector and was just making an ass of himself with, you know, overspending and everything. You met in a small, nondescript construction trailer on the edge of Droylsden and Tameside. It was a very weird, remote on purpose location.
And did you start with that A to Z book, or did we find it in the van?
I started with it because it was my Delves Deeper.
Yeah. I was going to say, if it started in the van, it could have been, we'd have to roll randomly because it could be for anyone.
I mean, I would say Tameside makes sense. I'm assuming that the fact that he had so much stuff in his trailer, probably going to be meeting there again if he doesn't die in the hospital. Okay. So I'm going to say Tameside probably.
Sure.
And we can use this to get going.
Perfect. Yes, so that helps obviously quite a bit, or it allows you to, to get through these navigation rolls without the madness happening.
Before we hit the road, I've also got I have it down, but we never rolled for level, and I don't know what kite it is, but I have some sort of lucid blue feather.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you would have to roll for it, either Vurt knowledge or something. It's not labeled, so someone would have to kind of, have to figure it out.
I think Winter found a black as well, didn't she?
I did. I found unidentified black feather.
Yep. Yeah, none of these have labels on them. So if you have a featherhead among you, somebody who's, has all the Vurt knowledge and everything, that's possible. Yeah, nice.
To me, that's just money.
Pardon?
Yeah.
To me, a feather is just money.
Yeah, true.
Right,
Yeah,
new characters. I forgot.
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, last campaign was full of featherheads, and then one person being dragged along, grinding his teeth like.
So, Jack, does your character actually like cars now, just to switch it up, or?
Yeah, he's no. Fitness has no problem being chauffeured anywhere.
Nice.
Love it. Oh, that's right.
You in the last campaign?
Yeah, con man. I dig it. Okay, so
Yeah, I mean, if Buzz is someone who would know about these things, there's probably that shot from like the back of the van up to the front, and you have like Angel with a hand on it and like looking back into the back. It's like, what is this? like not even looking at the road, just like shoving it in your face. Like,
I dig it. Okay, so Pete, roll for Buzz here. Buzz is, I'm gonna say, let's see, with it's a challenging task to just you're either a, what are your skills?
I am trained in Vurt lore.
Okay, Vurt lore would allow you, again, based on look, maybe smell or something like that, without actually ingesting it, perhaps having it, figuring out what it is. But it's still a challenging task. But you're skilled in Vurt lore, so it's now down to difficult. So it's a 12 or above. Do you want to spend any effort or do you have anything else that would apply as far as identifying?
Would a hedge mathematician spell? It can't change an object, but I wonder if it could identify it.
It's a blue?
No, it's my hedge. The feather.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. So it's difficult.
I just spent effort not killing us all with a grenade. So
True.
I don't know if this is the same level.
Right.
Okay,
this lucid blue could destroy us all.
That's true.
I rolled an 11.
Okay. No.
He's feather.
You get a dirty look, and Angel like slowly turns back to face the road.
A Norwegian view, blue, beautiful plumage.
Yes. Now, what's playing on the system here? It's not a good system. In fact, it sounds like shit. One speaker doesn't work. The other one is all treble, no bass. It's tinny. But what's playing?
Oh, the speaker's fine. It's just Nickelback playing on the music.
I think if I think Mr. Wagner would have, when he got in the car, would have switched it to local news.
Nice.
The type that would listen to like whatever the like NPR version in Vurt.
Beautiful.
I thought you meant more the police scanner.
You're listening to KEXP, Convenient Exposition Radio.
Now, years ago it would have been Gumbo Yaya on the waves, the famous DJ who was got everybody through the pollen outbreak.
But he
the
was
voice
bought
of
out by our boss.
Yes, and exactly. His company, Yaya Entertainment, ended up becoming one of the largest entertainment media companies, and then he was bought out, and Joe Crocus took over and became CEO of Yaya. And for 4 years he ran Yaya Entertainment, just losing money, just taking a loss, putting all the money into secret R&D, trying to figure out, and now all of a sudden, boom, he's still CEO, but he's also the head of the Royal Yeoman Warders. So he's now second to the king, only to the king as far as power in the real world, many would argue. So,
That doesn't seem fishy at all.
Yep. So Yaya Entertainment still owns a lot of the airwaves here, but now, yes, on the more intellectual channel here, you're hearing things about, the real world, what's happening outside of Manchester, what's happening in Guangzhou, China, or former China. It's a city-state now. How there's this huge, sickness happening. They had a batch of really bad feathers, and people are getting sick. But also at the same time, it's unlocked this, type of research into diseases, and now they're, because of this research, have figured out how to cure many other viruses and things. So out of a lot of bad comes a whole lot of good. So that's the biggest news outside the wall right now, is what's happening in Guangzhou. And that's, they have no name for this feather virus, as they're calling it. It's not technically a virus, but right now it's just known as, the feather problem in Guangzhou. And then of course there's nice in-between music, little, tinkling of, xylophones perhaps, something calming, and then, some, sponsorship having to do with a comfy chair. So
can we call the talk radio station yada yada yada?
And it's canon, right? There it is. I'll take it all.
I'm just here for the canon.
Perfect. As you're again listening to this, going through, Shar, were you interested in having Winter check for the black feather, since he was not trying to push you at all, but you do have an unidentified black feather?
I am, because I want to know how much I can sell it for.
Okay, yeah, because you were mentioning that. So he could make so you have a big fly, something out of like Meet the Feebles, like a basketball sized fly that is, or looks like a blur fly. Yeah, no! Oh God, no!
He's like, are you sure you're good at this? Because
yep.
Apparently not, because I rolled a 4.
Right.
So this time, I'm gonna say just again, it's a black feather, so it's even more like Vurt lore, and I'll say that this one starts at a difficult, and if you have Vurt lore, so it takes it down to demanding. So you're now at 9. If you want to roll this one to identify what this is.
Okay, let me roll.
Yep.
20.
Hey.
Nice.
Oh. Okay.
Show off.
What is your on your? Let's see. Let's say for. Okay, one, you'll definitely you correctly identify it as fractalized fairy tales, and not only that, but let's say that that this particular, it's a particular batch of fractalized fairy tales. This one is one of the originals. There was some shadiness. There was a bit of a recall even before they launched. There was some weird stuff with the beta kind of thing. But this is one of the first ones, and any featherhead would pay, 5,000 quid just for this one feather. This is a badass. This is also the origin, this is your 20, of the creature Keikatsu. Yeah, they are
Kaykatso.
Z-O.
Zeo.
Yeah.
That's the big hammered looking
there it is. Yep, page 310.
It's the big Pokemon with a giant hammer in the middle of the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
If that's Pokemon, my God. Yeah. that's
You
like
suddenly got interested in playing the game now?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's I wouldn't even say David Lynch. I'd go more like that's a GDT version of Pokemon Del Toro. So anyway, yes. So this is very expensive, 5,000 quid for this one feather, original batch, and yeah. So
Hell yeah.
I definitely pass
Yeah,
all that on
safe.
honestly.
I'd like open a compartment, put it in, and like lock it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So let's. Are you going to be using the A to Z book again? Will take you to the edge without having to roll because you'll get to the edge of Tameside. But then you're going to be rolling navigation rolls for 1, 2, 3 more. Well, sorry, it was 3 total. 1 to get to the edge of Tameside. Another one. Right? Okay, 2 more then. So you'll have 2 more navigation rolls to get to New Centerton. So you're now at the edge of Center. So going between the 15 boroughs of Manchester, which is 50 miles by 50 miles, basically, the mega city of the real world. Getting to the edge of Center is a little different. Things start to change. Again, Tameside's okay. Droylsden can get pretty choppy. They have the gang, the Droylsden Dolls. There's quite a few bad things happening. But now all of a sudden you're at Center, and things, at least at this part, you're going to be going through Bradford, and Bradford, so let's say that this is let's roll for a navigation roll here. It's 4, so it's a difficult. Do you have any skills driving, I would imagine?
I'm skilled in all driving tasks, but not in navigation stuff. I'm used to just, jacking into something that already has GPS. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am not useful in this regard.
I got nothing. I got for the other district, so.
I'm always the navigator.
There it is.
Yeah.
Why ain't you sitting in the front seat then?
The fact that there is
me back here.
there are no back
sit in the
seats,
front
by the
seat.
way. There are no back seats, by the way. There is a front seat and a passenger seat, but everything else is just wide open. You guys bouncing
We
around.
should leave the Vurts in the back seat.
So
That's cold-blooded.
to get through Bradford here, let's have a roll then. Yeah, it's a demanding or difficult, so it's 12 or above.
Okay, so that comes down by driving tasks.
And I'm assisting with navigation. I'm trained in it.
So it now
Okay.
brings it down to 9 demanding.
Okay. Survey says I can spend an XP to redo that.
Nice. Oh, everybody has 3 XP from last session.
Yeah.
You can add it to the remainder, whatever you had over, but yeah. Okay, so re-roll, because
Yeah, that came up for.
You almost.
Yeah, that's me. This is me like spending XP where it's like I'm screeching across 3 lanes of traffic to the other outside where the exit is. Yeah. This time I get a 7. I'm not used to something that has like wheels and it's always on the ground. I'm used to like
You know what? You could be justified in blaming the ride. This is it's a glorified ice cream truck, and you're racing down at top speed, and you some unfortunate Bradfordians, which is exactly what they're called, go walk in front, and you, GM intrusion, you are going to either swerve out of the way to avoid, and let's say that these are 2 kind of punk kids, maybe Robo Man, maybe Robo Dog Man, one of them, not sure, but they have some chrome looking. They're not looking where they're going. They're both on their lucid feathers like this, looking down at their feathers, wandering across lanes of traffic, because that's what the kids do. So
I know exactly what they're doing. They're playing that filthy pseudo Pokemon Go feather that all the damn kids are doing all the time.
There it is. Yeah, you mean Keikatsu Go? Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect. Okay. Yes. So the GM intrusion is avoid, and then you would take and it's gonna get crazy. You're gonna take 2 XP. One goes to you. One goes to someone else in the group, or you flatten them and deal with the consequences.
Oh, tempting as that offer is.
I know.
No, I will try to swerve to avoid murdering children indiscriminately.
Right. Well, they're probably.
I believe the GM is telling us they deserve to be run over.
No, definitely not.
That's
No.
the signal I'm getting.
Plus, you probably would do damage to the car, and it's already in shitty shape. So, of course. So yeah, they look up at the right time, and they back up, and you swerve around, take the XP, and who are you passing off the other XP to?
I'll give it to Josiah, because I think he probably he's there flipping the coin, he kind of opens one eye, he's like, kids, and
Yeah.
Actually, Mr. Wagner would say, children. not shocking at all, just like children. Hit them if you'd like, but
Nice.
No, but yeah,
Okay.
I mean, he's up front. He's the one who notices and says something about it.
All right.
Okay.
You're going to make 3 driving rolls, and this is to almost tipping over to the left or to the right.
Yes.
Yeah, almost tipping over to the right, and then a point where all of a sudden you're going to hit something and you're up making a wheelie and you're almost flipping over. So these are the three driving rolls.
Okay.
So challenging all of them, but you drop it because it's a driving roll, so it's now just difficult, 12 or above.
Okay.
These are rough.
Yeah.
And they'll get progressively easier as you go through, but still.
Okay. I'll spend a level of speed effort on that.
Okay, down to 9. Yeah, it's definitely a dex. You can say dexterity for that. Sure.
Yeah, my driving is. Oh no, driving is filed under intellect.
Right, but if you're a driver, and honestly, because it's so much, there's a lot of actual dexterity of how to get the wheel.
Okay.
I'll totally accept speed for that.
Okay.
So 9 or above.
9. There.
Yes. Okay, it goes to the left, to the left, to the left. It almost all of a sudden you look down and, you feel like you're over 45 degrees. This thing is going to crash down. But something happens where you pop the wheel just the right spot and it goes back up. But now you're leaning over to the right and you're picking up speed somehow because the accelerator is now stuck and you're going over to the other side. Now, this one is this one is difficult because you passed the first one.
Mm-hmm.
You have driving skills, so it's down to 9, demanding. Do you want to use any more?
I think I'll skip effort on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're gonna regret that.
Famous last words.
Shh.
9 or above.
You're gonna jinx it. Come on. All right.
Yeah, that'll be it.
20.
Oh. Okay.
Nice.
You tell me how you not only avoid from tipping over, but avoid this whole flipping over backwards. You're passing the next test too. So how do you regain? What do you almost hit?
So you see it like tips up on one side. There's the kids in the street, and it just swerves all the way around them. Comes back down, comes right back down, and there's probably a big scrape up the side of the van where it comes down along the side of a fire hydrant. There's a red stripe down the side now.
How them Duke boys gonna get out of this one?
Yeah.
One stripe.
Oh yeah, well it's a fancy future one. It leaves 3 stripes down the side because.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah. Yes, you make it through, and you are now right on the edge of Bradford. You can't believe how quick it was, but all of a sudden, you're at the edge. You must have found an even better way. So you have to go through the top part of Ardwick just for this last part to get to where you need to in New Centerton. So one more district, one more navigation roll. And again, this one is difficult. So it starts at 12. And if Winter is going to be helping with navigation again, sounds like?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't want to
9
die
or above.
much.
And it's driving? Is that already
Correct.
in there?
Navigation. Yeah, this is more navigation.
This one's more planning than, screeching
Yeah.
around things. Okay. All right.
This is to get through hard.
9.
Oh, good. And you do it. Okay. All right. You get through Ardwick. Again, there's let's say that there's a demonstration, happening. People for U-type rights. U-types are what people call zombies. They're
Out of way, zombie hippie.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. And they're going
Actually,
through.
I should probably be more supportive of them since it's, the shadow genetics and all. But
I was going to say, yeah, shadow genetics too.
Yeah.
And again, they're and from even from the books, Jeff Noon's books, they were always put outside. The rotting flesh kind of thing. They were put outside the walls, outside in limbo, and most of them are still there. Trying to eke out an existence.
They should have
But now, it's after the pollen outbreak. There's a lot of other things that have shown themselves to be much bigger threats than just the basic deep-rooted xenophobia. So it's now, again, this is a big political issue right now, and this is also what's playing on your fancy radio as you're going through. You're hearing the thoughtful, the thoughtful hints, thoughtful commentary on and calm about what's happening as people are slamming on the side of.
And in Tameside, it is currently 32 degrees.
Yeah, exactly. And you're through Ardwick. New Centerton is where you're arriving right now.
I'm also going to say that I'm going to ask at some point during this travel, could I get a chance to retry and identify the blue feather?
Yep, it'll go up one level of difficulty.
Right.
But yeah, you go for it.
Okay.
So it was challenging up to intimidating, but you have Vurt lore, so it brings it down to challenging again. So it's back up. So it's 15 or above.
13.
Okay.
Little feather.
An elusive feather. Even
it's going to turn out to be a baby driver, and yeah.
You hope. Yeah. Nice.
I needed this 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to put it on like, ¿Qué es esto? No me entiendes nada. Ah!
New Centerton is where the palace is. New Centerton is where they have the Manchester Police Department actually does not have jurisdiction within this district. So it's all done technically by the Royal Yeoman Warders, but they have security drones, which are not the same thing as shadow boxes or the others, but they have actual drones. No one really thinks to, petty crimes just really don't happen much in New Centerton. The streets are all paved, with beautiful, shining, sparkling marble and alabaster. The lampposts are gilded. You have, each of the instead of a light bulb, what looks like feathers actually, just emitting light. It smells like baking bread, and then you turn your head and it smells like childhood and home, and it's just hitting you, and you're realizing there are people out,
Stroke.
Yeah, spritzing, the passerbys, trying to sell the latest, way overpriced, pheromone-based, who knows what. this is the fanciest place in Manchester. You are now rolling in an absolute shit wagon that is got scrapes along the side of it. And this is the point where you have 2 Royal Yeoman Warders up there in their reds and their big, furry hats, and both of them stand in front of you, put out their hands, and yell, "Halt." You're still driving.
Don't get me wrong. I'm tempted to plow straight through them, but we will come to a stop.
Now, again, yeah, and now the Royal Yeoman Warders, and again, there's a whole bunch of other people around, and structures and security drones and everything like that. The I think they're called, are they not ballards, something?
Bollards.
Yes, thank you. That go up to stop. So, anyway, you stop Screech there, and you also now look and realize there's security drones lining the car there with, laser pointers pointed at the van. And they're asking you to step out, please.
Well, yeah, we are driving a van with an illegal license plate scrambler.
We are.
We work for the yeoman, so
We're here on official business. We have
our allies.
a letter and everything,
True. Now, again, officially, you guys don't exist, Zed team. But no, you guys are outside consultants. You're not Roman Yeoman Warders, and you've also been given the idea that you have to be careful. These are actual Yeoman Warders, so
Gentlemen, what seems to be the issue? Why stop us on this fine? What day is it? Is it Tuesday? It's probably a Tuesday. Why stop us on this fine Tuesday? You look good, sir. How are you?
The other one looks at his partner here, and he rolls his eyes, and now he walks away. You guys aren't even worry enough for 2 of them, so one's walking by. So the one who's stuck having to take.
Have a good day, sir. Good to meet you.
And he says, "Papers, please. Papers, please."
I pull out a business card.
Robos you're looking for.
I pull out a business card and hand it over.
Ah, that's right. You have business cards, and you're the con man. Got it. He does not accept the card, but he does look at it, and he kind of looks up to make sure that you guys see that you also are being, there are eyes in the sky on you.
Mm-hmm.
No one's walking out of there thinking that there isn't danger. So he feels even more comfortable. And then he says, he looks over. What does it say in your card?
It says, Mr. Josiah Phineas Wagner, corporate consultant to, and then I think at the bottom would just be like the logos of every major corporation in Manchester, just sort of like tiny, like a fucking NASCAR, but very tasteful. Like it's type
right.
It's got a it's like in Helvetica. This is a very classy car.
This is verging on American Psycho territory.
I know. Trust me. We'll go there. Okay. So, you know what? Roll for it. Roll. Yeah. However you want to convince him. Let's say that it's challenging.
I have a whole bunch of convincing stuff.
Yeah.
But here we'll roll. I think. Let me look at my.
Welcome to Speakerdom.
Let's see what we got here. What talents do I want to use?
Yeah. And also, if anybody else wants to assist, let me know how you would assist in this, and I'll drop it.
This is pleasant social interaction. I can only unassist.
Yeah.
So I mean, So I have persuasion as just a general.
Okay.
As well as I may. I'm not going to use it now, but I do have spin identity. I just have to figure out what identity I'm spinning here. I think this is a general I'll spend 1 intellect to enable it, and then I'll roll. So give me 1 sec.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait a sec. You have the royal seal, correct?
Yes.
You mentioned that. Okay. That I'll say we'll drop it 1 because he's still, you can fake it kind of, but I'll drop it 1. So it would go down from challenging to difficult. Then you have persuasion, so it goes down to demanding, which is 9 or above. So if you want to use spin identity,
spin identity is just something I do reflectively.
Okay, perfect.
Reflexively, not reflectively. I don't like sit there in silence and contemplate the nature of my lies.
Spin your identity at yourself.
You don't light up when people put flashlights on you or something?
I got a 5. Wait, so is it 6?
Let's see, you've gone from challenging to difficult to demanding 9. And spin identity does what? Or no, that's just what you're doing. It's 9 or above.
Okay, I'm going to spend an XP to reroll because I got a 5.
Okay.
13.
Okay. He almost calls his buddy back, but then he used something, maybe the logo, okay, kind of jives. He sees also the royal seal, and he whistles up to one of the drones. And again, these are not blurb flies. These are also not shadow cops. These are just drones, like a quad cop looking thing. And it buzzes down, and he whispers something in its non-existent ear, and it buzzes off towards the palace. Now, the palace, you can see just the top of it from where you're at in the background. Maybe you guys have been there before, maybe not. If you were rich and or connected, it's certainly something that you may have seen. So it's going towards the palace, and he says, "Just a moment, please, just a moment." And he sits there and he's tapping his foot, and he's waiting for this drone to come back like this. And as more time goes on, the super posh people that are walking by are kind of slowing and stopping, and they're seeing the way you guys are dressed. They're seeing the way you're driving that van, and all of a sudden you'll hear, they're snickering, and they think it's, this is all so droll, and they're you can hear them cracking jokes about Robo Shadow Men. Yeah.
Nice.
Those.
Oh yeah, there's going to be angry glares at people here. That's
Yep, and they're just privileged enough to know that they can get away with snide remarks because you're in New Centerton and you're lined by drones, but they also don't even have the guts to say it out loud to you guys.
Wait, what mode are these guys again?
Basically, New Centerton is full of everybody. So the ones who are, except probably Robo Shadow Man, and then of course, pure Vurts are out. No, none of them, as well as 4th level beings are not anywhere near. So everything else, dog men, pure dog, pure human, pure robo, not just pures, but everybody. But yeah, these people again it's a socioeconomic, kind of thing, and they are absolutely, at this point you can hear laughter. It's everything but them throwing tomatoes at you guys. You guys, if you have any sense of shame or pride, it's being affected right now. So enjoy.
There's a loud cracking of knuckles and shadow smoke coming out of eyes. Yeah, that's.
So at this point, a drone buzz right back, and you can hear a recorded message, and from where you're at, you can't quite make it out, but it sounds like someone gave a message. So these are secure messages. It's one of the main ways that the Royal Yeoman Warders can be sure to transmit messages and not have them be intercepted. They've had a problem in the past, shall we say. That it comes back, and at this point he looks at you guys. He almost like the bile's coming up in his mouth, like he doesn't want to say it, and he says, "May pass."
Thank you, good sir. Of course, understand. Just doing your job, of course, of course. I'll take down your name, though, for my official report. I hope you enjoy your day. Goodbye. And just...
Yep, his face is down, and And you got, honestly, these people were here to see you guys get on the ground and get wiped out. The look on their faces right now is one of like, oh, well, that's not right. And within seconds, they're thinking about, avocado feather toast or something. They're on. So they're gone, and they could care less about you, trash. But now you're in New Centerton. You're able to drive through New Centerton, and it looks like he did not see your scrambler, or if he did, and they saw it in the sky, they allowed it through. Okay, so that's where you're at. So you know that you're probably a few blocks from the Irwell at this point, which is a little bit closer towards the palace, yeah, maybe a few blocks. It's still about 5 hours, let's say at this point, 5 or 6 hours until 3 in the morning. So it's already, the darkness is in. The rain is still, has started even harder now. And yeah, but you guys are nice and warm in your shitty ride. So.
This shitty ride is camouflage, but the next time someone laughs at us.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the doors?
Not sure I can hold back.
You shouldn't attach so much value to the opinion of, normal people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
I get that kind of crap all the time.
Yeah.
I was going to say, next time we end up throwing Buzz, like, and smashing somebody in the face with Buzz, just like crapping or something.
It was like 10,000 BC when as they slapped the fly. Ringo.
No.
In fact, funny you mention Ringo.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Wait, what?
You get a one of these drones comes in as, again, it's 5 hours before you know where the meetup is. A drone now comes in and buzzes down to where you guys are at, right next to the window, and taps against the window with itself. Yeah, exactly, with its little.
Hello?
Yeah. And to roll down the window.
Josiah rolls down the window.
It's like halfway down and stops.
Yeah, exactly. The farther down it goes, the more off kilter. Makes sense. Yes, you hear a pre-recorded, a recorded voice, what you assume is a recorded voice. And it says, let's see here, 338, and this is not a voice that any of you recognize. It says, 338, the Rover Fair, Rope Walks, Liverpool. 338, Rover Fair, 2 Rope Walks, Liverpool. Third time, and it repeats. And then a fourth time, it repeats, and it keeps going until...
All right, we're done with you. Good day. Rolls up the window.
Until one of us just like shoves it back from the window and rolls it up. Yeah, that's.
And it's off. So here are your bits of information. 338.
Oh, yeah. Declares it.
Rover Fair. You knew that bit. 2 is what it says. Rope Walks, Liverpool. No one's from out of the city, are they?
Nope.
Okay. No. Doesn't mean shit to you. Unless someone has like real world history, some character.
Redacted. That means you lost it, right?
From where you guys are at right now in New Centerton to the edge of the wall is another 20 miles. So Liverpool is only 15 miles from the edge of Manchester now. So there's only 15 miles of limbo between those, and Liverpool does have a wall as well. It's not nearly as impressive, but again, the wall that doesn't face the sea. It's open to the Manchester Channel, and it's called Manchester Channel, not Liverpool Channel, and Manchester's very proud of that. That's actually a real world thing too. So, so yes, Rope Walks is on the edge of it lines the channel there. It's a district, and it's also, let's say that with your real world knowledge, it will also let you know that Liverpool doesn't have the Royal Yeoman Warders because they're not royal, but it does have their own type of security force that's called the Liverpool Police, and they're almost nothing they are nothing compared to Manchester, but they are known to be sympathetic to the Royal Yeoman Warders. So you would even know that Royal Yeoman Warders, now they're big. They have people walking around in Liverpool undercover. So that's what you get from that. What that means, how those are connected is up to you guys to figure out, but that's what you've been told.
T-Bone, get on it.
Nice. Let's say you guys are able to, there's a couple places to eat. They don't have Wimpy Burgers.
Damn.
Yeah, new center. Yeah, there's quite a few great places to eat and everything for the few hours that you guys do have. There's Dubtex Nightclub, Deansgate Boulevard Bookstore, Patisserie Valkyrie, Bluefinch Cafe on John Dalton Street. I mean, these are things that everybody talks about. You guys have money?
Yes.
I got a feather.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you do have that.
And we're totally dressed in a way that will blend.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a good place to sell this feather. There's rich bastards here that'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's also, of course, you can see the Royal Palace ahead. That I'll say, again, as you guys are here, the Royal Palace, it sits on the banks of the Great River Irwell. New Centerton is the location of the new Royal Palace. Security is very tight. So the Royal Palace is in front of you. You can see a line of Royal Yeoman Warders walking back and forth, lines, I should say, walking back and forth. Security, like there are spotlights. You can actually see that people who get close to the palace, almost it's the same technology as like a wonder wall, where in the game where when you go through it, it'll actually stop certain genetics. Like if you have shadow genetics, you can't go through a wonder wall. Everybody who walks through this, like, kind of doesn't look like smoke, but it looks kind of like almost like a heat wave, who walks through, you can actually see as they walk through, like an X-ray, as they go through, piece by piece, everything they're carrying. You can see broken bones that have pins in them. This goes all the way through. You cannot get to the palace without walking or driving or something through this. So.
And what is it? What does it screen out? Do we know?
Yeah, it just shows it doesn't seem to be blocking anybody at the moment. In fact, this as real world history stuff. They can make that wall solid if they need to block everybody out. But what it does, it's equivalent of like in I don't know, in Total Recall, when the walk through X-ray things at the airport, in real time. So you actually see everything. Super security, super screening.
Nice.
And that's in front of you guys a little bit. So in the few hours, what are you guys thinking before 3 in the morning or 3:38 in the morning?
I would probably take a nap.
Do you want to use your? Oh, no one lost any. Well, if you've
I did. I'm going to use recovery just because I'm down from the previous thingy. So
you just take a deep breath as you're resting. Yeah.
So I get 1d6. So I got a 3. So 3 plus 1. So 4. So I'll put that back in my intellect.
Cool.
I'll take one of those two while we're sitting here. Kind of kick back.
Yeah, I spent effort.
Big combat boots up on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And after that, and I've been refreshed, I want to check that goddamn blue feather again. Hopefully, since I slept, this will have reset the difficulty. But
There you go. Oh, sure. Why the hell not? Yeah, you were out of sorts before. Yeah, go for it. So challenging to difficult, so 12 or above. Without
damn, roll the 2.
I love this blue feather. You know what? Yeah, this is going to bother you as a player too. Bother you until you find out. And I'm also going to say that you can't make any more checks on it, and that drives you crazy. Or you can make checks, but they won't work. So someone else would have to identify it. But yeah, this one is going to be a bee in your bonnet. Yeah. So, all right.
Wait, do we have any money?
I have money. I have plenty of money.
We have our starting money.
We
We have our starting money, right?
Yeah, I just didn't put it on my sheet, but I'm pretty sure it's 275.
Oh, I got 200.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, everything is super overpriced, but you guys are probably getting pretty damn hungry. You can order, get a drone to deliver a curry or a whoopie or a burger or something else, but the restaurants are there as well if you want.
This is not the right part of the city to find a Papa Dam walkthrough in, right?
No walkthroughs in New Centerton.
But there's no cops in New Centerton, so Woompy Burger might not be a bad option.
Yes, that's right. No Woompy Burgers. They don't get. Actually, I have what's in. Yeah, New Centerton has noteworthy locations. There's. You know what? I totally take it back. Along the perimeter, there are Woompy Burgers. There are 5 set up on the edge of Ardwick. Oh, because Ardwick's full of cops, of course. Okay.
Wow.
So there are Woompy Burgers. There is. I am misleading you guys. Yes.
How dare you?
There are 14 Papa Dam walkthroughs.
Oh, damn.
But these, you have to look good walking through it, let's say.
Well, I can go, obviously.
Yep. Again, page 218, if you're playing along at home. But yeah, it has a full breakdown of everything that's in New Centerton, all the different stores, and there's Monster Marts and Vurt Uramas. There's Club Thunderloo. There's the Village, which is probably the coolest part of New Centerton. It's terrific. So right now it's dark. The lights are on everywhere. You can hear the music from the different clubs coming out, thumping. Sometimes it's, you can hear an old remixed Das Uberdog tune. You can hear, even a little bit of Frank Scenario underneath.
Are they still playing the Boomer song?
Boomer song, I knew it. Okay, DJ Back Scratcher's remix of Ballad of the Boomers is blasting. But it's now been set to a minor key. It almost sounds like a tragic, triumphant thing. I don't know. Some minor key is in it, and it makes you kind of sad. You don't know why, but if the Boomers were, rising, and that's what the lyrics are, why does it kind of sound sad now? Anyway, and as soon as you go by, the power goes out in that club, and plug is pulled. That's awful. So,
why you gotta do this to me, Alex?
Sorry, no, but you understand the Boomers are still legends. Even post-Boomer, they're still being played in the clubs of New Centerton. So there are a couple hours again before. Let's say there's 2 hours now since you've rested. If you want anything to eat, you want to take care of that. You guys have enough money to just do something walk through. If you want to go in anywhere before the meetup, let me know.
Do they have any ghost cat skewers?
Oh, I bet you could find one.
No idea how long it's been there.
Yeah, let's say that's the kind of thing you can only find at a rover fair. In a few hours, I think you should really start looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
The health department won't tolerate ghost cat skewers.
I mean, it's questionable, but does that technically count as Vurt flesh? It's kind of like low end.
I mean,
Yeah. Oh, I actually, it's in there that they can't be, that they goes, a lot of the Vurt creatures, when they die in the real world, the psychotropic or the active effects go within seconds to minutes. Or it actually,
That's how dream snakes are, that they're not reactive.
right.
I mean, it's still tasty.
Yes, exactly.
If you're into that.
Yeah, and pretty elite too, because they're rare in certain areas. Okay, so if you guys want to go anywhere, let me know. Otherwise, we can get you guys right to the edge of the Rover Fair, or where it will be. Sound good?
Yeah, I think we should
Take us to the limit.
Perfect.
We should,
I apologize for that.
Nice. So you know the area. Let's say you guys can be anywhere from maybe a block away. Again, it's a little bit before. You can see the edge of the Urwell where the coordinates are. Again, this is still a nice area, of course, but this is more, it seems, I don't want to say a less lit area, but...
Redacted. That means you lost it, right?
Stream issues with pushing to Twitch, so we are hiccuping a bit here and there.
Okay.
Do we take a short break?
Sorry about that.
We will anyway at this. This is the last. You find the contact and it's already halftime here.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can come back with that image, but what you do see is this is a robo man dog, and he's covered in. He's wearing like a leather jacket with Cruzeiro logos, which is it's from Brazuca land down there near São Paulo in South America, former Brazil. He's got a spike bat over his shoulder. He's jumped out of one of the boats. He's got a nose ring. Both of his eyes seem to be almost, there's certainly the robo part, and they actually will telescope out when he looks and sees you guys.
He's the Tex Avery Wolf.
Pardon?
He's the Tex Avery Wolf.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you caught that. Of course, you would.
Redacted. That means you lost it, right?
With their wares being sold, and one of these, robo man dogs walks over to you with his eyes and that telescope out, his robotic eyes that telescope out, and his nose ring and his fancy jacket. He's smoking a napalm filter. Smoking makes you sexy. His Majesty's what is it, counselor? Yeah. And he's cold. Everybody's cold. It's rainy. You can see his breath. But they're gonna sell it. And he has a big spiked bat with it even has a Brazilian flag painted on the bat. And he puts he's got his Cruzeiro patches, which is the best football team or vert ball team outside of Manchester. So they're coming up. He's Brazilian, and he yells to you guys, "Oi, tudo bem?" And he's expecting you guys to talk. And his telescoping eyes, he kind of looks at you guys.
I telescope my eyes back at him.
Would I know what the hell he's talking about?
And I say, Michael, and that's how I know.
I use simple communication, telepathy.
Beat me to it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
If
sure.
He's willing.
Let's see, Robo Dogman. He doesn't understand that you're trying to do that, because he's trying to understand. And he says, "Tudo bem," and then he leans in. Let's get int checks for everybody. Just a basic standard int check to see if what you can glean from what is obviously not supposed to be happening right now.
I got a 7.
Is that we want to roll under our int?
No, it's just you'll roll if you. Yeah, it's an intelligence-based roll. It's a 15. It's challenging, so
I
you
got a
just have to
20.
pass it. What you
I
got?
don't have anything useful here.
I got
Okay,
5.
so
So let's keep going.
Yeah, it's just a straight roll. That's the thing.
May
So
not have been accepted, but it helped.
Yeah.
okay.
I've got a 19.
Okay, so 15 and a 19. So 2 of the 5 of you.
And a 20.
And Char's 20.
Oh,
Yeah.
We were
You
going
got
out
20.
sure, so
Shar, you got a 20?
Yeah.
Oh, rad. Okay, so 3 of the 5. So yes, you will figure out. And here's extra. So you can see, or you guys are picking up on the fact that this you're supposed to meet somebody or something. This is a meeting point. You had your written instructions, even though you got no verbal breakdown of your mission from your boss, your sloshed boss. You are expecting to at least be talking to somebody who's, speaks English. Again, you're in the middle of Manchester, the biggest city in the world, quite literally in the middle of Manchester. He does not speak a word of English. That's clear. Yeah.
Aren't two of us dog?
yeah, is dog a language that transcends language?
It depends. There's certain. That's not a language, but there's certain communication signs. There's ways to get around language if there's two dogs. So
I also wonder if Robo and Robo could commune.
Yeah, Robo and Robo could.
yeah, he's Robo Man Dog. So let's do. You know what? With your 20, let's say that is a roll, and Robo for you, and you do connect. That 20 counts. So let's say that it's very basic, ones and zeros coming back, because he's not a pure Robo, but he certainly has Robo in him. And it's question mark. And then there's not equal, the digits coming in are showing that, this, I'm confused. You 5 don't speak Portuguese. Why don't you 5 speak Portuguese?
Poor education, my good man. I tried, good sir. I tried very hard to learn
I'm not gonna
Portuguese.
try
I
and
studied
translate
multiple
that.
courses in
Speak
college, but it just
less.
never took, good man. It just never took.
His head turns this way now, and he's thinking, what? More question mark.
Yeah, I mean, see if you can convince him to let you do the telepathy, while the rest of us pick Josiah up by the back of the shoulders of his coat and put him over here.
Well, yeah. The telepathy is actually, this is a good enough connection as you would get in the telepathy without speaking. So at least you have, again, a basic line of communication. So he's confused. He doesn't know, again, the group, that he thought he was walking into, 5, and now he speaks, out loud to you guys, eu não estou entendendo, vocês não estão os consultants,
We are the consultants.
Vocês estão os consultants, tem 5 de vocês, mas os consultants não entendo. So, that's what your ears are picking up.
Our ears are picking up that our dungeon master doesn't speak Portuguese either.
Hey.
Wait a second.
What's that?
I think not, good sir. It's even a São Paulo accent. Yeah. Yeah, so that is...
Somos los consultants.
Los consultants. Yes, consultants. In English, he actually, that's the one English word peppered throughout his whole thing. He's expecting, and he's expecting to meet 5 people. Why aren't you guys speaking Portuguese? At this point, the Royal Yeoman Warders come in en masse. The Rover Fair has been found out, and lights are everywhere. There's mayhem. People are pushing people over. Everybody roll right now, because the crush happens, so people are pushing immediately towards the river. away from things. People are pulling rugs out quite literally from underneath you, trying to get back in their boats before, and you hear the first live round go up in the air, which you guys know is the first warning shot before they take care of business in that part. Everybody's going to roll now to see if a speed-based roll, to keep from falling down or getting bumped into. If you have any skills that you think might apply, jumping or something specifically to keep you guys from getting crushed or pushed.
I'm
Does,
trained.
does speed defense help in that?
Yeah, I'm trained in speed defense.
Yes.
I've got
Yeah.
speed defense and all movement tasks.
Okay.
I got nothing, and I got a 9.
I got jumping and running also.
Whoa. I'm trained in nothing, and I got a 5.
I got a 4, so this
I'll
is going
deal
to go.
with the 9 and 5 in a second. Oh, 4? Who got
I
a
got
4?
a 4 with 2
4.
assets.
A 4, a 9, and a 5?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I have
This is
2
gonna get
assets.
I got
ugly.
I got a 9 with 1 asset. Yeah.
No one passed? Oh, sorry, it was 15.
Well-
No one passed?
Well, now that I know it's a
all feel
15, we
bad
can
about
spend
it,
an
dude.
extra.
No reroll on
I
this
didn't
bad
pass.
boy, because
Oh.
check this out. Okay.
That's no fun.
You are all pushed, along with several other very confused rovers, as well as, drunk, club goers, into the River Irwell. It is icy. This
What happened
area,
with the barrier?
at least this area is a cleaner part of the river. They filter it upstream, and downstream be damned. But at least it's that. But it is icy. Boats are, again, coming together above you guys, to get together. They're unmooring and they are going down, and you guys are in the water. Now, unless someone has swimming, we're going to deal with what you guys are wearing, how heavy, your metal arms might be, or your wet dog hair bringing you down. Be honest. Well, you guys always are, but what's happening? What do each of you guys look like being thrown in the river?
Quick question. I have jumping. I'm trained in jumping. Can I try jumping back up? Or
As the next action, yeah, that'll
Okay.
help you on the next action. But you did get knocked in.
but we get up again.
Yeah, there it is. Don't.
Wah, wah.
Okay, so what do each of you guys look like as you guys are in the Irwell? Imagine like Titanic, but just with Mank X. It's ugly.
Just a grumpy wet cat. Like Josiah is just like he wears this sort of long, but like it's essentially like a knockoff cashmere top coat, and it's just floating above the water behind him like a cape, and his hands are up, and it's like, oh, what's a predicament?
What's a predicament?
Yep. And next,
So I didn't really talk about this whole setup that I have, but when we go out in public, I wear a big spherical helmet that
love it.
hides my face. And it's not so much a disco ball, but it is like there's visual elements into it. I'm going
No pants.
to pull it off, and I'm going to aim the opening towards the sky and use it as a flotation device.
I'll allow it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, okay. So you're scrambling to do that, disco spider, with the 8 eyes, if I'm not mistaken, right? Don't you have? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next is again, even if you're hovering, you at least got dunked. But
Right. I was going to assume that I get knocked. I'm going to assume I also lost the fedora, that it flew off because it's not very tight. I don't really have a head for it to sit on. It was kind of resting on top of me. So
Yeah.
Really,
the fedora went flying, and
no.
I figure I got dunked in the water, but I'm able to. I don't have feathers to get waterlogged, so I assume I'm able to float myself up out of the water and hover right above it. And at least if I'm not, I'm going to get Sheila to help pull me a little bit so I can get airborne.
Perfect. The giant blurb fly asking its blurb fly to lift. Yeah, this is whack. Okay, next is who's looking pretty.
I know Angel's over there with like a waterlogged parka, and like the fur around the collar is all like wet and disgusting. There's a lot of like loud swearing in Ukrainian from that direction, or at least you assume it's swearing. It does not sound happy. Like
Right.
Perfect.
I've been wrong before.
In general. So,
Yeah.
Ooh. As I'm hovering above, do I notice any ciphers floating around in the water that might have gotten dropped out of somebody else's pocket?
On the next action, I'll let you search.
Okay.
Because you would actually be able to see it from where you're at. Sure. Yeah, why not?
Feathers float.
Yep, and Winter.
Winter is actually trained in all movement tasks. So she's also like a good chunk robo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
A little propeller
she's
pops
like,
out of her back.
and she just like sinks, but then
Mhm.
starts walking towards the edge so she can climb back up.
Nice. Yeah, it's about.
She
Yeah,
throws a little R2 Dagobah snorkel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're lucky it's right at the edge and there's a bit of a slope. But yeah, if you were in the middle, you'd be going down 30 feet. Yeah, or 35, I think. Actually did research.
Like
on
if we were in the middle, she'd make more of an effort to float
Yep, I love it.
and like swim, but she's like, not this again.
So Pete, roll for, let's have Buzz look before the next round of action goes. As everybody honestly is being swept down river because of the boats, pushed by the boats, unable to quite get a grip on the edge. We'll deal with that in the next action. I'll let you look, search because you're hovering. So you're gonna roll. Let's do a. It's not int. What would it be? What do you think? It wouldn't be int. It wouldn't be speed.
doesn't leave much, does it?
No, it really.
I mean, if it involves observing, it would have to be intellect, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't search with my powerful muscles.
Yeah, no, true. I'm just trying to think if there's any other like skill. Yeah, I guess just a basic. I don't know what would help with that, but yeah, I guess a basic int. Sure.
I rolled an 11.
Okay. So goes to. Let's say gotta hit at least one. Okay, one. Let's say you find one.
Okay.
0 seems lame. I don't know. There's so much mayhem. There's so many like rich drunk people that were knocked in as well that were trying to buy stuff. Ciphers that were out on blankets that are in there. So roll. Let's see, page 360. Roll a D100.
34.
34 is a Janice Fontaine record.
Oh.
Ooh. Throwback. You know what?
You can add it to the collection with mine. Yeah.
The exact same one that your boss was playing before.
Ah.
It's a sign.
That's it. It's that rare Janice Fontaine. I mean, that's good stuff. So, and you can, rolling for, form. So it's a D6 for level. Okay, sure. So roll for
I roll a
level.
6.
6, okay. It's a brittle record that is about to break, but the effect is when played at high volume on a limbic splitter or equivalent DJ device, the musicological stylings of Janice Fontaine inflicts sonic damage to all. It's badass. Now roll, because we have auto rollers, equivalent of funky dice, roll a D7. Can you do that on that?
I'm going to roll a D20 and discard anything that's above.
Thank you. That works.
I rolled a 7.
Okay. Torture's Garden. This is one of, he made only 7 albums before his untimely death. All are considered to be masterpieces by his fans, of course. 7 is Torture's Garden. TORCHER''S Garden.
All right.
Okay, that's the one that was playing Josh Brashwash's machine. Okay. Now, being swept down the icy Irwell here, boats and everything, getting to the edge, you guys are realizing is not going to happen because more things are getting pushed towards. Best you can do is get onto the chunk of boats that's floating quickly down the Irwell in order to stay afloat. From there, you could maybe try and get the boat over, but everything's being pushed towards it right now.
Can anybody from my group struggling with swimming right now?
No, not necessarily. Everybody's at least close enough to the edge not to, even if one is sinking and kind of walking. Yeah, that works. Yeah, let's do a speed roll to see for everybody. It's a lot of rolls today like that. Speed roll to see if you can get back up onto the boats. Jumping counts. Although,
no.
Well,
20.
Nice. Well, oh, I can't wait. Okay. Yeah, let's say jumping works because you can jump off the side, but you couldn't quite scramble up to get on, so it counts as an asset.
Josiah becomes Patrick Duffy's man from Atlantis.
I got a 20 also.
Wow. Whoa.
Do I need to roll if I'm just going to hover above the boat?
Yeah, nah, you're fine.
Maybe you should just roll for see if you get a 1.
Yeah, 1s or 20s. Yeah, if you get a 20 or a 1. Yeah.
I had an 11.
I'll spend a level of effort. And an XP. And
an XP.
We're never gonna level.
Hey, I got a 19.
All right.
Excellent. Okay.
Wasn't
okay.
11? Sorry, words. Wasn't 11 enough?
Yep. It has to be 9 or above. It's demanding, but you guys. Okay, so the 20s. Okay, 120. I would say just having one nat 20. I would say that not only can you get up on the boat, but you can guide the boat. It's an empty, small, it's bunched into everything, but you can actually pilot this boat out of the mess in a direction. Since there's 2 of you, you guys can each pilot, you guys each jump into a boat, a same small kind of boat. Again, it's painted intricately in the sides. They all are. There's like wood carvings. It's cool. Kind of stinks of petrol and sadness. But yeah, it's.
So this is a rover vendor boat?
Yep. They're both rover vendor boats.
And the current rover who owns the boat is currently not on board, leaving all his wares unattended?
Quite possibly 2 have done just that. Now, it's floating downstream. You guys are going to get out of, everybody else can be clinging to the sides of choose your boat. You have 2 right now. And you guys can
mine towards Angel.
Perfect. Okay. So your 2 boats have gone out of the tangle and are at least together, and you're past the point where the banks are full of Royal Yeoman Warders. You can hear the sounds of violence in the back. You don't hear any more gunshots, which is good. But there's definitely brawls happening. People are still getting pushed in. They decide to just push everybody. Offenders or not, push them in the damn river. Because
we lock the damn van.
they're the RYWs. They don't give a shit. Someone may have called them a beefeater. So that is that. You do see, as you guys are at least floating to safety, you do see this Brazilian, Portuguese-speaking robo man-dog swinging his spiked bat, not hitting anybody, but like swinging as a stay away like this, and you see him jump into the water, and he dives in like he does it all the time. So no one's really worried. Yeah. No, he's only part so he just does this. Yeah. So at least you guys feel that you have seen him safely get away.
We should throw him a rope.
Huh?
I'll steer towards this guy. We've established a connection.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Unless you have boating experience, which you
I'm trained
probably
in all movement tasks, man. All of them.
Somebody better
can
get
move
in the
all
bow
over
with a
that.
calf to push out these other people.
You're like,
And,
yeah,
and you're the boat that was trying to help pick me up, right?
True.
Because I'm trained in all driving tasks, so I can probably help
Oh,
direct
yeah,
the boat.
Pilot.
Yep. Yeah, piloting again, boating is not something we may have it. I'm not sure. You could obviously choose it, but yes, you are. It'd be a speed task because it has to do with, this rudder. They're different. These are rover boats. They're flat boats. Even if you've been in a million Vurt feathers where you've been the pilot of piloting your own schooner down the whatever bay, this is the real world, and it's not as easy as it looks in the feathers. So the two of you piloting, let's say this is intimidating. So it's 18, and this is to steer it where you've gotten out of the tangle, but this is to steer it somewhere specific if you want to. You're saying you want to go towards where you saw the Robo Man Dog go in? Or were you going towards?
I'm gonna go in the general direction of the Robo Man Dog, figuring that he can also come towards me because he's a good swimmer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So and Jack, are you gonna
I'll follow.
Yeah.
Shout Robo, over here, consultants.
Nice. He's underwater, quite literally.
Speed roll.
Yep.
19.
18 counts. That's
19.
it. Okay. Perfect. And so that's more than half of you. So Char, even if you don't, or not more than half, but it's half. What'd you roll?
19.
Damn.
God damn.
Okay. Well, I thought he was going to stay underwater and swim to safety, but you know what? 2 boats going right at the right point, and he pops right the hell up and climbs on board. Let's say let's say Winter, got there. He gets on your boat. You guys boats are together. He shakes himself off that part of the dog. The chrome. His leather jacket again. He's really worried about it. At this point, he's looking down. He seems more worried about his clothes than anything else.
I throw him a blanket.
Beautiful, beautiful. He grabs it. He says, "Obrigado, obrigado." Again, nós, vocês são os consultants, porra, meu.
You're
Again.
welcome.
What is no one here speak English?
Yeah. So he's really good-natured. He seems unmithered.
Who's got the thing that told us where to go?
Sorry?
Who's got the sheet that told us where to go?
I do.
Oh,
It's in my pocket.
And it's all wet.
I'm like, Finn, you still got that sheet?
Of course, yes. He pulls it out. It's just like this wad of paper. Let's see. Hobbit. This was in English when we got it.
Ropebox, Liverpool.
River. A river runs to our tightrope, I think.
Yep.
Yes.
Can I spend a point of hedge maths and flatten it out and dry it off?
Wasn't the second instruction audio?
It was.
So,
But I like the fact that he's
we
using
should
hedge
remember
maths.
that. We
yeah.
we remember it.
But it was, yeah.
You can't show him.
Yep. Rope walks Liverpool. But the original instruction again just said 338 coordinates. Everything that was supposed to happen did, and then a lot more. Rope walks Liverpool. Again, you're heading down the Irwell right now.
We're in a boat.
In a few, and since you have again the real world knowledge, and you have 2 boats together, you can take the rover boat here. The River Irwell runs south, and then right near Earlham, it flows into the River Mersey. That's in Salford, and you guys are Safford.
Ferry across the Mersey makes sense now, finally.
There it is. Ferry across the Mersey. And so this is the River Mersey. This, again, you guys know, flows on through North Warrington and out through the Limbo Gates near Runcorn. And that spits you out into the mouth, or not the mouth, the Manchester Channel. So from there, it's 15 miles to Liverpool. So you guys make it through. I'm just going to say you guys find ways to get there. You have 2 boats together. You rolled 20s. I'm not going to make you navigate. This is ridiculous. So
Well, and our direction for navigate is downstream, so it's kind of hard to miss that one.
True. But to pilot with. But again,
plus now we got this guy, and he's helping us.
He's helping lighten the mood, because at this point he is, let's say he's talking, he loves I have to pick one of the mean ones here. He loves Angel here, and he has decided that, you guys are absolute brothers, and he's going on, nossa, meu time de Vurt meu Vurt nós estamos bem, and he keeps pointing to his patch. He's talking about Vurt. He is convincing you that his team is legit, and he thinks you guys are simpatico, man. So blah 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 blah. Vurt. You have no clue what this guy is saying, but he's smiling. You like him.
We're both talking back and forth, but we both have different colored subtitles. Because Portuguese,
Exactly.
Ukrainian.
Yeah.
It's just I'm standing there wringing out my parka over the side of the thing, and he's like, "Oh, the Sao Paulo team is da-da-da." It's I've got this big Ukrainian national flag,
hell yeah,
on the back of my shoulder for the team from there. It's doesn't know what it means at all.
Someone on the banks of the Mersey just walking, and all of a sudden they see these 2 boats going down with this happening, with someone yelling in Ukrainian, another one yelling in Portuguese. A giant blurb fly controlling blurb flies, the madness of, it's got you guys are quite a sight. Of course,
we're doing a good job of keeping a low profile, staying out of the crown's hair. Yeah.
You're lucky it's 5 a.m. at this point at the most. You can certainly go through by 5 a.m. Let's say you're already at.
Is there anything cool on my boat?
I'd ask that as well.
Let us search. So let's go through. Yes, the same one as searching the van before. That is okay. Let's see. So there's a range. So everybody, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna do 1 roll per boat. Okay. So to see how many total there are, and then on the boat. So the first boat, who's going to make the roll for the one that Winter is piloting at the moment?
Is anybody actually trained in perception-y things that's on my boat?
That's a good question.
Who's on which boat?
I threaten the things into exposing themselves. Yeah.
Yes. That's kind of my thing too.
Yeah.
Frog sees you.
Yeah. Well, you got, again, the boats. Yeah, the boats are next to each other, so going between the boats is no problem. If anybody can assist with, but just 1 roll per boat. So just to see how many.
Is anybody that
I'll do
is part of our?
I'll do it on my boat.
Well, I was going to say T-Bone has the most eyes, so he's the obvious nominee. Right?
Right.
I just don't have any abilities that actually, go along with that.
Is this intellect based, Alex?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
But
I'll
again,
spend some effort.
But instead of don't spend on this one, because this is less about a test and more because I'm going off a number table to see how many. So
Okay.
I appreciate it. But
I got a 20.
a 20. Okay.
There you go.
That's the top. So that's 4.
Nice.
And what did you in your boat? Now 2 boats. What's the other boat? Shar, you can roll.
I'll probably be in Char's boat.
Or yes, yeah, Rob, you can roll.
I mean, either of us can roll, but I picked a
All
boat. I rolled a 17.
Roll and I'll assist. So
Oh.
that'll give you +3.
That's 3. That's 3. So wait, 0 to 5, 0. Yes, 6 to 10. Yes. Okay. So 7 total. Damn, because 2 boats. Shit. Okay. So let's have everybody roll a D100, and then the pilots will roll each. The guys, you driving the boat, will find 1 more. So you guys roll 2.
Do we all still have our ciphers that we had from before? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your cipher limit is.
We're gonna get rolled soon.
Okay, so 1D. So the pilots, me and Winter, are both rolling 2 D100s.
Correct.
All right.
Everybody else rolls 1.
My first one was an 86.
Okay.
360.
So you got so 86 is a unsolved equation.
Yeah.
That one's badass. Okay.
And
So
then
you
my second roll is a 80.
80 is subscription hormones. Nice. Those are added to blurb flies, and again, they have it. Yeah, it has to do with pheromones and marketing and sonic, earbug or earworm style stuff. So those are badass if you have a blurb fly, and I think someone does. Okay, cool. Who's next?
And the other pilot, I can go next.
So 2 for you.
I got a 46.
46 is a Mad Dog 4040.
Nice. And I got a 29.
29 is Grape Stoner. Oh, good. Yeah, you guys are definitely gonna get rolled with all these.
Mhm.
But the cipher suggested limit is through the roof at this point. You guys
Yeah, my limit is 2 and I've got 5.
love it. Oh, it's good. Okay, so the other 3,
I got a
68.
D100. Oh, sorry, 68. Okay.
68. So Regenerol.
Perfect. You're right.
And I didn't roll a level 2, and I'm going to immediately swap that out for the grenade and put that back in Sheila the blurb fly so that she can deliver healing to someone at a distance.
Nice. Yep. Okay, perfect. And Rob, what'd you get?
I got a 50, which is mini maxes.
Oh, cool.
Oh, hey, we got 2 grenades now.
I rolled a 6 on that D6, so
Damn.
yeah.
Yeah, it feels heavier than the other little, even though it's just kind of a strange little triangular, contraption, what it does. So it's badass. All right. You guys are eyeball deep in ciphers here.
So I got 1 more to go.
Oh, right. Yeah, you
33.
33 is the Ibotonic Blart. Oh yeah, that's the greatest.
Yeah, we got to lick you.
Yep. Yeah, whenever that's used in game, things have gotten bad. If you're using that, you need to use it. Perfect. Okay, so that's the ciphers. Again, we're not even going to roll as far as navigation. You guys pilot it down. You right where right by 5 a.m. You're near Earlham in Stafford. Then on through North Warrington. Okay, so now the sun has come up, and it'd be another maybe half an hour. Okay, the sun has been up for maybe half an hour by the time you reach the limbo gates near Runcorn. Again, the edge of the wall. And so what you see, and again, this is boats go through or out the wall gates all the time. That's what you have to do. You have to fly, well, hard to fly, trains everywhere too, or go overland all the way to the north of the city where the Irwell comes in, or get there and float down where it meets the Mersey, down and out, and then go back. You can't go upstream, so boats are quite literally in a constant stream leaving the city, small boats. Getting through, though, the limbo gates, you have same technology that they used at the palace. So you've seen this before. You can see the shimmer ahead, and you can see, let's say there's another 50 feet before you guys are, going through the gates. MPD is on both sides of the gates. They have, they're the big paddy wagons, the 3-story. They have, there are shadow cops zipping from here to there. The MPD is in force, especially this particular gate. And as it's going through, they're just kind of with their arms crossed, they look upset to be there that early. This shimmering wall, as these boats go through, all of a sudden, it shows exactly what's people are carrying, what's in the boat, things like that. And you see about 50 feet ahead that a boat, some other, rover ready to go through and out like he normally does, takes a deep breath. He doesn't look like he really likes it. He kind of puts his head down and it goes through. It doesn't look like it hurts him, but you can see, he's carrying a stick, probably for maybe a steel pipe, you can't tell, but some type of something for protection. But that's not that illegal. And he floats on out, and he's out in limbo. Dog save him. So you have another 50 feet before you're going to go through this,
Is it our plan to actually go through limbo?
Not if we have other options, probably. This just raises the question, if we try to get off the boat here, do they think that we're rovers docking illegally and they lay into us?
Well, jumping out of the boat here.
And our options for travel to Liverpool are either drive the van, which we abandoned back in New Centerton, take this boat, somehow cross limbo on foot, or is there a train or something that goes between the two?
Once you get out, and Winter would know this with the real world history, or the geography part, it's a waterway all the way to Liverpool. The Manchester Channel goes all the way to Liverpool and then goes out into, from there you can head straight west and go to Dublin in a few hours. You're out at that point. So if you're in a boat, you can get to Liverpool. If you go overland, it's 15 miles of limbo.
I was going to suggest we
isn't
find
the
about
worst plan, except we can't get back.
I feel like going by boat seems the easiest way, but also that terrifies me because, drowning.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
So once we're...
Don't worry.
Step 1,
You're Vurt.
stay on the boat.
Oh, yeah, I'm Vurt. Gentlemen, I believe we should take boat.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now-
The best way to not drown is not to go into the water.
No, once we're in Liverpool, is that someplace where we could get the train back or something like that?
There's
It's just crossing limbo itself that's the unpleasantness. Yep. Okay.
Yep. Now the boat, and again, the history, the real world history would let you know this. The patch, the 15 miles between Liverpool, through the Manchester Channel. If you get out of the boat, you're on your own. It's no man's land. It's bad. It's limbo. If you stay in the boats, it's such a constant stream that a lot of these boats will undock. There's a couple spots down the river where it's a little bit, it's at least more common. But a lot of them float all the way down to Liverpool and then take, overland. And usually there'll be somebody who will go overland with the boats as back. That's a totally separate service, and they grab, a refresher boat at the top. They usually have 2.
We might find another impromptu rover fair on the shores of the Mersey somewhere in limbo where there's nobody to stop it.
It's possible. It's improbable. It's improbable. Yeah. Just because there's not enough people. The only people that are on the shores there, get out, hopefully they've got cover or something. They get into something quick and they drive as quick as they can to safety because it's limbo. And again, at this point, maybe 20 feet, the boat's going through or is going towards this wall, kind of a shimmering, like a pink almost, a shimmering wall of air kind of thing. And then you can actually see at this point through the wall gates out into limbo, and it looks worse than you've ever imagined.
What does the Brazilian seem to think of the wall?
He's still talking about football. He loves this shit. And he seems unconcerned. And
well, I don't know why they would stop us with anything going to limbo.
Right. Like, we don't have anything particularly illegal.
Well, even if we did, why would they stop us getting out of the city?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem like it'd be worth their effort.
Yeah, you're right. The getting into the city at the top, they have the same technology, but they're making, often you would know they're making sure that, there's ways to tell, maybe there's like live Vurt flash or something, or like the real big bad illegal stuff, that they're looking for that really just so they can confiscate half the time, take it themselves. But you're going to get hassled often. But the first guy went right through. So, here's hoping, right?
All right, let's do it.
You guys ready for this?
I mean,
I don't like when you say, "Are we ready for this?" Because there's something we have to ready ourselves for.
Well, just
when the king of TPK says, "Are you ready for this?"
No, that would be so awful with just like 10 minutes left in the session to be like, "Oh, sorry,
the shadow cops got you again."
Yeah. Again. Oh, now the shadow cops are there zipping around, but as you guys are 20 feet.
But they don't hate us yet.
They don't. You're just.
We've got a letter that says we're allowed to. Come on.
Give it time. They'll hate us soon enough.
Yeah. By the way,
still gonna pop the park up and punch down.
Yeah. Remember that the Manchester PD doesn't necessarily get along with the Palace and the Royal Yeoman Warders. In fact,
so they don't like us.
They don't not like us because they don't know about us yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But also,
but they don't love us.
Yeah, and you guys found out in the last campaign they are, connected more than pretty much anybody knows. But yeah, the fact is, there's a lot of hatred on both sides of the serve and protect community of Manchester. So the first,
Only we had an inside man.
The first MPD yells out. Of course, he yells out, "Oi, oi! What you carrying? What you carrying?"
Good.
People, my good man. People, what are you carrying?
He says, "What you carrying?" Like this, and the way he's saying it, it's like he says it 100,000 times a day, or at least it feels like it. It's just like something that he has to say to every single person who passes by.
I got livestock.
Nothing of interest will be on our way. Thank you. Good sir. Good sir, of course.
Do you have any persuasion, something, spin identity?
I'm going to do, it's all of Mr. Wagner's tricks is going to be persuasion.
Now is the time to use it. Because anybody else have any, before we even get into speaking, anybody want to either, I don't know. I'm
going to look like an intimidating guard.
Oh, hang on. I want to do, so we have two boats, right? So I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to enthrall him and gesture to the other boat to move around me. So we're only dealing with one boat that has to pass his checks. Because he can't do anything but focus on me while I'm talking to him.
True, but the problem is he's flanked by a bunch of them. You know that you could get him for a little bit, but it would be seconds before someone would be.
I'll take this. So I'll do spin identity and I'll do persuasion. And
everybody else is looking. How are you looking? How are you posturing or not?
What are you going to spin your identity as? Because I'm wondering if I could hedge mask myself to look like a shadow box.
what would be a good thing to spin my identity as? I mean,
if only you had more time to think about it, because now he asks, go, what's your identity? Go. And what is it?
Well, we are but humble merchants, sir, going into this bringing needed supplies, going to meet up with a well-known corporation. I believe you know the Apex Corporation. We'll be heading through. We have all the paperwork. I believe your commander should know that we have the paperwork. We should all be fine. There's nothing here to see. Just a few gentlemen, few consultants on our way to the things. Nothing for you to be concerned about. Just wave us on and we'll go right away. Of course, sir.
Mm-hmm. He buys it. You spent the points? Spent the points?
What?
Did you spend the points or?
Yeah, I'm spending everything.
Okay.
I didn't really spend the one.
He is like, okay, he gets some of the corporate speak. He gets the fact that you're some salesman of some sort. He can't hear it. It's too early. He just wants a Wimpy's burger and wants to go home. He's at the end of his shift and it's daylight. This is awful.
That is the worst breakfast decision he could ever make.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Yeah, he's you know,
I
he's
can't
looking
imagine.
forward to the heartburn. And so he buys it. But so okay, you feel like, oh, you're floating closer. You're right, getting close to this, you know, right close to this wall. And okay, he believes you, and then he holds out his hand and expects you, because you're a salesman and you've obviously done this so many times, you obviously know what to do.
Yeah.
Holds out his hand. As you guys are
Give him
passing
a high five.
I pull out, I don't know, 50 quid and put it in his palm. Is that the wrong thing? I feel like that's the wrong thing.
So he grabs the quid. I love it. I love it. This is so perfect the way this session is going to tie into a bow. He takes the quid and his eyes go wide. The two people behind him look over. They see that. They quickly look up at the shadow boxes that are right there.
Just bribe
that are people being this way, that way.
I wasn't thinking.
All it's perfect though. And he grabs it like, you know, like this, and he looks up and he's looking, and all of a sudden he's going like this to one of the shadow boxes like this. The cops are coming over there.
Sir, I just wanted you to tell me if that's valid currency in these parts. I've never been here before. Just wanted to know if it was valid currency, make sure it's good. Could be counterfeit. Just check it for me.
He gets body checked at this point by his partner, who is trying to show off for their new boss because there's some anti-corruption something, hence the buzzing of the cops and everything.
Accelerate the boat.
Exactly. So you have, we're going to do a piloting roll to see if you guys can get out of here to steer the boats around what they're already throwing out, the equivalent of spike strips for cars, so that almost like flails that they throw out to, you know, full of hooks that to anchor you in. So
we need to get out of here.
Throwing them out.
Banjo chase music. I love it.
They're throwing them out, swinging them around, throwing them. The two pilots here are going to make these rolls. The others can help somehow by, I guess, watching out for these flails. So everybody gets an assist.
Yeah, somebody do a parry for me.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like a cat of nine tails. It's pretty, you know, these are big spike strips. It's challenging, again, could be worse, I suppose. It's challenging, but with assistance, it goes down to difficult, 12. Anybody want
Can I send Sheila to harass one of the throwers?
Nice.
Yeah, that'll count as the asset.
Okay.
Sure, definitely.
All right,
That's
it's
good.
dark, so I'm gonna make smoke happen.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and use it to like make it harder to see the boat a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
It is 4 a.m, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, sunlight. It's like half an hour after sunlight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 6:30. Yeah.
Should be a little bit harder to like focus on us.
Yep. So difficult. Sure. Let's say in that quick amount of time, it'd have to be a quick blast of smoke, and you'd be spending the points. So it'd go down to demanding. So you'd roll 9 or above to successfully get through this shimmering wall and out the gates, at least.
All right, what is this? Is it
Speed.
what speed?
Speed?
Yeah, because again.
All right, because I'm going to spend a level of effort.
Yeah, I'm spending effort too.
Okay, 6 or above.
Let's see.
I mean,
11.
Okay, you got it. And
18.
okay,
Nice.
all right. By the way, the Robo Man Dog on there literally his eyes are wide. He's looking back and forth. At this point, he's laughing. He thinks this is hilarious. You guys are getting around the spike strips. They're going. There's a shadow cop, racing towards you guys, and then one of these inept MPD, reaches out with a spike strip and hits it mid-air. It's Keystone, Mank cops at this point. It's absolute mayhem. You guys start going through the shimmering wall, and as you're looking around to each other, you can even see, almost like, what is it for the dissection, where it's just, you can see everything you guys are carrying. You can see all the ciphers you guys are carrying. They can see.
It's a ghost cat scan.
It is. Yeah, says you with, again, how many, now here's the thing. How many ciphers do each of you have now? We have to take a total because, or at least above your limit.
2 above my limit.
Okay, 2 above the limit plus 3 above the limit, so 5.
I'm 2 above
Plus
my
2.
limit plus 1 in my blurb fly.
8, 9, 10. Jack, how many do you have above your limit?
Above my limit, 2.
12. So you are 12 over your limit. Here's what's happening. There are onboard or motors on it, petrol base, diesel probably, or some version of that. And they can go a little bit quicker than they are right now. And I'm going to say that you guys do get through. But the shadow cops are now the coming out hovering over the River Mercy as it's going through behind you guys, ready to go forward like crazy. Here's what you guys feel has to happen. There are 2 of them going towards you as quick as you can. They're going to get you guys as you're leaving, just as you pass through the gate, if you don't do something.
I'm going to spend 2 ciphers at once. I'm going to take the train spotter, which lowers range difficulty by 6 steps, and I'm going to use that to throw my min-maxus grenade between the 2 of them, so that it blasts them sideways.
Wow. Well, that's one way to bring down your cipher limit. They won't notice.
Yeah.
Instead of like tossing stuff overboard, you're like, nope, look at this. Okay. So you're throwing with your little arms. I'm going to say that it's going to be one step harder for you to throw. Well,
right, but with the train spotter, it's down 6 steps in difficulty.
Oh, Jesus.
That's why I said 2 at once.
Oh, I love that one's a great one. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Hell yeah. Yeah, why not? And train spotter, just so I know, I've got it right here. It is a single-use inhaler. It improves your eyesight and grants exceptional hand-eye coordination. The difficulty of all range attack is decreased by 2 steps for 1 round per level of the cipher. Damn. For the next 2 hours, the PC suffers from fits of trembling, and the difficulty of all speed actions is increased by 1 step. So.
Oh, normal for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, Wednesday. All right. Perfect. Okay, so if you're going to use train spotters, and what level are they?
I rolled a level 3.
Okay, so 3 times. So. Yeah, that's how you guys are going to go out with a bang. Let's do this. You take a little.
Remember how I said the shadow cops don't hate us yet?
Yeah, I remember those days.
Oh.
It took 2 sessions for you guys to become like on the top, top of the most wanted list. Wait till they find out that you're affiliated with the Royal Yeoman Warders. Then
I pull up my hood.
How would they find us? They don't know who we are.
Yeah,
Right,
we did just try to bribe a cop right in front of them.
right, the info beam, you were captured on film, or at least digital. Yes,
You can
you
fake.
tell me what. I really want to, especially since it's an inhaler, and I'm imagining the tiny little hands. So, how do you take train spotting and then immediately throw a goddamn grenade or a super grenade at right between these two? Yeah, there it is. Of course. Then I can't beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. So this is what was the bomb? It was a min-max? No.
Min-maxes.
Okay. Min-maxes. Let's read that one to see what it does. Right here. A small explosive the size of a walnut that can be thrown a long distance. The grenade explodes in an immediate radius, inflicting damage equal to the level of the cipher. And it was a 6?
2.
Oh, 2. Okay, that's enough to knock them.
Yeah, I'm not trying to damage them. I'm just trying to blast them off sideways till we get out of there.
And they have 1 armor as well. Okay, it still goes through. It concusses them sidewards. They spin out, like bad TIE fighters off to the left and right. There's more mayhem.
Down with this one.
And you guys are off. It's also created major problems behind you, and you can see that the boats, as you turn around, you see that the boats coming down hit into this now more visible. The wall has been held solid, and there's a pile up, and boats are going down, and you can see rovers trying to get up and get out of the way before more boats get crushed. It is mayhem behind you, and now you're out into the Manchester Channel, and it's a beautiful limbo morning. The sun is somewhere behind all this haze and pollution, you think, perhaps. The
sky is gray. The birds are falling out of the trees like they do every morning.
Absolutely. If there are no birds, nothing living that anybody really knows that should be living. Yes, vegetation, all the roots, it's a wasteland, and there's oil spilling into the channel at this point. It's murky. You can actually see what look like human bones from time to time off on the side. This is like,
Hey, go fetch me a skull.
Yeah, this is Heart of Darkness.
Not for real.
Yeah, this is like Heart of Darkness, meets Hunter S. Thompson. Something.
Never get off the boat.
Horrible. But you guys managed to quickly get out of there, and where we'll kind of zoom in and out of this session here is you can see the first lights. Again, it's daylight, but the lights of the factory that start the exterior, or the part right before the wall of Liverpool. Liverpool, you can see the big skyscrapers now in front of you. There is, they have a wall around it, but the river looks like it goes straight in, and you do not see any shimmer at this point. And it's much wider at this point because it's it's a big shipping canal. And there are ships that are docked there as well, mostly cargo. It smells different. And I guess every city has its own pollution, scent signature or whatever. But this doesn't smell like Manchester. It smells way worse than anything, you thought before. It's like burning tires mixed with, ozone. It's absolutely terrible. And for the entire time that you guys are going to be in Liverpool here, this is going to be something affecting each of you guys. Because when you're not used to Liverpool, especially if you're from Manchester, and you get within the smell of their, the pollution and the factory and everything, and you're not used to it, it takes about a week or two to get used. It's like people living in Greeley, Colorado, or near a slaughterhouse or something. You can survive after a few weeks, but for the first 2 weeks, you're retching. So welcome to Liverpool, everybody. And as you're
when I moved to LA.
Yep. As you're floating in, you get the Robo Man Dog stands up like this, and he points over there, and he to the banks there, and he says, "Olha email," and he looks back. He says, "Hop walkies, meu, hop walkies," which is the way a Brazilian would pronounce rope walks. And there's somebody else with a bowler hat on the shore there, looking pretty fancy, with a little cane. Of course, Pete. Looking absolutely more dapper than he should on the the edge of the Manchester Channel at the edge of Liverpool. And you realize you've got to your contact. And at this point, he pulls up something out of his coat pocket like this and flashes his Royal Yeoman Warder badge at you guys, and then puts it right back in. And that's where we'll end it today. So, welcome to Liverpool, assholes.
Ominous.
I do love the hat.
Of course.
I want the hat.
It's perfect. All right, so you guys are now on Manchester's Most Wanted list.
It only took 2 sessions.
That's par for the course. That's
perfect.
But listen, all we did was bribe a cop and then run away.
Imagine
I thought it was like a fee.
Bad than anything we've done before.
Of course. Yeah, you wouldn't. Again, only real vendors would know the right type of papers to put up at the right time when he does that. So, perfect.
We did also throw a grenade at 2 shadow cops.
Yeah. Hence the Most Wanted.
That was your vote.
I think Most Wanted is a little bit ambitious. Maybe we're
True.
one. But...
True. Yes. You've made the list. How about that? You're on the list now.
I can live with that.
We're on the kind of wanted list.
Yeah.
And at some point, I'd like to trade
Especially
Josiah
that
these
vote.
subscription hormones. Trade my Janice Fontaine record for the prescription hormones. So I could actually use those.
Well, I'm sure a deal could be made.
Nice. All right, all. So in the next session, we'll start up. You'll be on getting off these boats and actually setting foot into Liverpool, and trying not to retch.
So are we going to get like comments from people from Liverpool saying this is unacceptable how we're talking about their city?
Yes,
I hope so.
care what they say.
Yeah, I was going to say I hope so, because then they can look at what we say about the United States and especially Los Angeles, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, okay. You think it's bad here? Go to Los Angeles. Ugh. You think it smells bad in Liverpool? Oof. So, yeah. Yep. There you go, Ringos. Yeah. Cool. So we'll pick it up from there next session.
Thanks for running. It was
Sounds
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
Thanks,
thank
Alex.
Yeah, of course. Catch you guys later.
We will see everybody then.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.